Hatcher. It remains a very, very good FA Cup final. And Hatcher! What a magnificent goal!
Good evening and welcome to All Things Sky Blue match preview, where we preview our game against Sunderland at home at the CBS Arena, 3 o'clock kickoff. Before I bring my guests in, please remember where you can find us. It is scrolling on our ticker down at the bottom. We are available on X or Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We're available on YouTube as well. So if you like what you see when you watch us, please go and like and subscribe. If you listen to us on podcast, please go and rate us 5 stars. We are available on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, wherever else that you get your podcasts from. So this season, we are sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications. His logo's in the corner. He can do your steel fabrication work up and down the country, but mainly in the Coventry and Warwickshire area. This season, we are partnered with the Anecdote Sports Bar at the CBS Arena, the Sky Blue Tavern, and I'm in the manager's office. If you've been here before, you'll know where I am. And also, we're in association with this season, the second half of the season, with Coventry Ladies. So please go and like and subscribe if you do like what you see. So, without further ado, let me bring my first guest in, normally my co-host. It's Mark Smith. Good evening, Mark. How are you?
Hi, Stu. Yeah, good. Thank you, yourself.
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So, Mark, the run has sadly ended against Derby with a 2-0 loss. Unfortunately, an abysmal result, performance, whatever you want to call it. I was there, wasted journey, if I'm honest. Yeah, it was a little bit flat for me. Didn't really get into it. I thought we had the first 5-10 minutes of really decent play, and I think Milan did some really good skill on the byline, got past his players, and then all of a sudden we just went into our shell a little bit. I don't think you were there, but did you watch it on TV? If you did, what did you think of the game?
Yes, I did watch on TV. Yeah, very disappointed. I think you summed it up pretty well. It was a good start, but we gave away a really poor free kick. Jake Bidwell gives away an unnecessary foul. There's another goal where we conceded from a set piece. Poor defending. I think Bobby Thomas loses his man and Matt Clark heads it in. Ollie Dobbin, I felt, should have done better because he heads it into his near post, and I felt he should have pushed that away for a corner, really. Which is not. I've been very positive about Dobbin, but I think he and to be fair, the whole team it was just a bad night in the office. It felt like a game too far of a lot of these players, and then after that, it was. We just, we had the one chance of Ellis Sims, who's really a tame shot, which the keeper saved it, but really he should be scoring that. Second half, Derby were just very well organised, defended well in numbers. Obviously, they got the early goal, which obviously we felt was off for a goal kick, which was very disappointing. But although that was a bad decision by the assistant referee, I think equally Jake Bidwell, who, in my opinion, had probably his worst game for the football club, was lucky to still be on the pitch. And yeah, after that, it was just pretty toothless, really. I mean, no one can really say they had a good game. It was just a real bad day in the office. And, it's disappointing, but the overall picture is we're still in a good position. Obviously got 3 tough games ahead of us starting Saturday, but we've got to pick ourselves up now for Saturday, and it's a new game. Sunderland obviously done incredibly well this season, so there'll be tough opposition for us, but I think we've just got to look forward to it and try and forget about what happened in midweek.
Yeah, definitely. So on that, let's bring in Paddy from the Roker Report. Good evening, Paddy. How are you?
Hi, lads. Yeah, not too bad. Hope you're both well.
Yeah, very well, thank you. And thank you for joining us. Much appreciated. Yeah. I've been trying to get you guys on for a long time, and you've been busy, or I haven't been able to catch you and things like that. So thank you very much for joining.
That's okay.
Right, so before we get into it then, Paddy, let us know what you guys do and where we can find you.
Yeah, so you'll find us at rokerreport.com. We've got a team of writers. There's articles uploaded on our website every day. Get shared on our socials. We have sort of pre and post match stuff as well. We got a podcast as well. We have we have all sorts of pre and post match content on there as well. And yeah, there's just anything in terms of Sunderland really. It's the best place to go. Might be biased, but yeah, there's plenty of stuff on there. We've got preview podcasts on there ahead of the Saturday's game as well. So yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to kind of get the lowdown on where we stand at the minute, that's probably the best place to go.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's get into it then. You had a 1-1 draw with Preston at home yesterday. How was the game for you? Was it expected, or was it a little bit out of character for Sunderland with how well you've been playing of late, really?
Well, to be honest, it was against the sort of opposition where a lot of us kind of thought before the game that we'd probably struggle, because in home games, especially since the turn of the year, when we've played teams who are, with the greatest respect, sort of mid to lower table, teams who you expect to kind of turn over at home, we never seem to turn up. And to be honest, it took an absolute worldie of a goal for us to get a point, really, because we were pretty disappointing. I mean, we had chances in the first half, but we just couldn't finish. And then it seemed like Preston came out in the second half. It's almost like they could tell that we were there for the taking. Because once they did come out, I think it was the Reece, the striker. I mean, he had a couple of sort of runs at our defence, and obviously he's the one who ended up getting the goal. But they just came out the second half, and they looked like they wanted it more. And to be honest, yeah, we were, for a good amount of that game, we were second best, and we could have been a bit lucky to get a point, because at full time I was sat there thinking, I don't think we deserve anything from this game. In all honesty.
Yeah, to be fair, even our run of, what was it, 9 games in 8 winning, I think some of them we were a little bit lucky on. I think Mark might agree with that we were a little bit lucky with some of them games, with winning 3-2, last-minute winners and things like that. You can't always win like that, can you, Mark? You've got to sort of cement yourself a little bit better, Stoke being the prime example.
Yeah, I think the problem we've had is keeping clean sheets. I mean, we've only kept, I think it's about eight clean sheets in total this season, roughly. I know Dobbins kept 7, but I don't know. I think he was saying before we started off, Stuart, I think Collins might have kept 1 as well.
Yeah, I think he's kept 1 or 2. I think. Don't quote me on that.
But I think that's the basis for any team who have got aspirations of getting playoff / promotion is clean sheets. If you cast your mind back to 2 seasons ago when we got to the playoffs and the playoff final, we kept over 20 clean sheets, and I think that's a massive part of, because although prior to the Derby game we had, including the Derby game, we conceded 2 goals per game. The last 3, 6 goals, and you can't expect us to keep scoring 3 goals for the match. You want to be winning 1-2-0. So that's something. If we want to be a playoff side, we've got to be keeping more clean sheets. As simple as that. And it's concentration for me. It's just the players doing their jobs properly. So, so we've got to be on it on Saturday, because Sunderland are a quality team, and they've had a really good season under Reggie Lebree. I was just going to ask Paddy, what was your expectations ahead of the season? Because Sunderland last season weren't as strong as were they, sort of around mid-table-ish. But what's changed? What's Reggie Lebree done differently? Is it the youth academy? Because obviously there's a lot of good young players there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple of factors really. We ended last season. I mean, it was a case where I think we were on such a downward spiral that we were kind of lucky the season ended when it did, because we had an abysmal end of the season where I think we lost 6 on the bounce, and then we lost our last 3 without scoring, and we were just kind of all just like desperate for the season to end, really. And there was a lot of names mentioned of who was going to take over in the summer, and there's not many Sunderland fans out there would have known or even remotely heard of Reggie Labrie, and I was one of them. I was okay. So he's been in France for a bit, and he seems like he's a bit of a sort of tactician. Like he knows, he likes to sort of tinker with his squads and things like that. And he's got a very sort of set way of playing. And yeah, I mean, we made some decent signings in the summer. I think the standout was obviously Wilson Isidore. I think he was sort of our big sort of marquee striker signing in the summer. I think in general, he got a lot of players playing with more confidence. I think an issue with the last season is some of the players that were kind of just almost terrified to take a risk in case they made a mistake, and all of a sudden it would be like negativity's back straight away. I think this season there's been a lot more confidence in a lot of the games, and I think that's why we've won a lot of games this season where we wouldn't have won last year. And I think it's just purely out of an extra kind of installation of confidence, really. And it's dipped throughout the season. But to be honest, I did think we'd drop off more as the season went on and as the injuries picked up. But in all fairness, I mean, we've for the most part we've kept pace with three teams who've come down with the parachute payments, which is obviously it's easier said than done.
Yeah, no, definitely. Remarkable. Yeah, definitely. Now, obviously, we are two clubs that have got history of being in the same leagues over the past sort of 3 or 4 years, if you like, really. Now, obviously, we have got a good history against you in recent times, and I believe that the last win that you had at Coventry, don't quote me, I did look on the history, but don't quote me. I think it was the 13th of April, 1985 was the last time that you beat us in Cov.
Yeah, I think I heard that. I heard that date earlier this week, so I think that is right. Yeah,
yeah, which is remarkable, really, because it's normally Cov have got the bad omens against teams, so it's very rare that it goes that far back in our favour. Yeah. Obviously, the one that springs to mind more than most was our 5-4 win in League One. And funny enough, that was the 13th of April, 2019.
Was it?
How spooky is that? Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I did the looking up on that one, and that's really weird, I found anyway. Yeah. But do you remember much of that game? Because it was an absolutely mental game. It was literally just back and forth.
Yeah, I was there. I was back from uni. Ironically, I went to uni in Coventry, so yeah. Okay. So I was back up home for that one, and yeah, I remember. I think if I remember right, I think Coventry were 3-1 up, and then I went to 3-2. Then I think I actually missed the equaliser because I went out to go and get a drink at half time, and I think I remember hearing celebrations as I was in the toilet. So I missed the equaliser. It was incredible because it was two teams who were great going forward, but defensively just dreadful.
Yeah. That's Coventry summed up. That is at the minute. But yeah, it was. I remember I went for food with my parents, and I remember it was on in the background, and I was watching it, and it was just literally back and forth. And every time I looked up, there was a goal going in. It was mental. But yeah, that's one that springs out to me really in recent history. But let's talk about sort of your last 3 games. Really, obviously you drew with Preston yesterday. You have won the 2, so you're 3 unbeaten. Do you feel confident about going into this game? In a minute, we'll talk about obviously the players injured, but are you feeling confident about going into this game?
To be honest, we could be on a 12-game winning run, and I wouldn't feel confident about Coventry away.
Okay, is that just because of the history of us?
It's funny. Like I know, some like older Sunderland fans have a bit of angst towards Coventry, but to be honest, I'm not a fan of your lot. It's just because we never beat you, and it's just like, I mean, you're touching on it there. It's one of these where we can't seem to shake it, and it's always a good game. I always think like it's always it's always a good quality game of football. But yeah, it's just not one what we never seem to sort of turn up for. But no, I mean, I think we've got a bit of momentum. I think obviously the game away at Leeds where we lost in the 95th minutes was a killer. The week after that, we lost at home to Hull, and we were shocking. Like we were absolutely dreadful. But in all fairness, we have bounced back. We got a couple of 2-1 wins to kind of settle the nerves a little bit. And yeah, I think as I touched on earlier, I think we were probably lucky to get a point against Preston, really. But I think with Sunderland, we've kind of reached the point of the season where there's a minimal chance of top two. I'm kind of just there like, I'm going to keep on believing until it's mathematically impossible. But I think we're kind of just sort of getting ready for the playoffs now. But I think, we want to go into the playoffs with some momentum. And I think at this stage of the season, I think 3 games unbeaten, doesn't matter how you do it, it's good momentum. And I think we've got some tricky home games coming up, but our away games especially, I think after we go to Coventry, I think we have West Brom and Norwich our next 2 away games. So, yeah, it's a chance to really be tested against teams who we could well be playing in the playoffs. So, it's a chance to kind of scope out potential playoff opposition. And, I mean, it's crazy how, we could be playing you again twice in about 6 weeks. So, it's, as is the craziness of this league.
Well, we played in our playoff season. We played Middlesbrough 3 times in the space of 2 weeks. They were our last game of the season. Then we played them in the double in the playoffs as well. So, and we've got a good record against teams up your way. Guys, we've got a good history. Middlesbrough, we always seem at the moment to beat them as well. So hopefully that will continue. But let's look at the players that you have got injured. And I'll go through the list and I will point out the one for me that I'm thankful that he isn't playing. And I know you can probably guess who that is anyway. So the list of players is Abdul Samid, Ian Preveda, Enzo Lefebvre, Dan Ballard, Jayden Dans, Elise, and Niall Huggins. And obviously the one for me is Enzo Lefebvre, because every time I've seen him, he's been absolutely brilliant. And when you played Leeds especially, and he absolutely made, I think it was Luke Ayling, absolutely looked stupid in that one move. I think it was...
It was Middlesbrough.
Was that Middlesbrough?
Really?
Sorry. Yeah.
I know which one you mean. I think,
he made him look absolutely stupid.
Yeah, he made, I think, Ayling's age and lack of pace got kind of broadcast to the whole of the country that night, I think. Yeah,
definitely. But he was brilliant. So are any of them likely to be back? And like I said before, I'm glad that hopefully Lefebvre's not going to be playing.
He won't be. To be honest, I don't think any of them will be.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest, out of those players there, I mean, out of the ones who would be sort of first team contention, you've only really got Ballard and Lefebvre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously we've got centre halves. We have Luke O'Nien and Chris Mepham, who have developed a good partnership. But I mean, Ballard and Lefebvre, they both got injured against Hull, so it was quite recent that.
Okay.
Ballard was one of these where he pulled up and you could see from a mile off that he'd done something bad. So,
right.
Yeah, he's not back for a while. And Lefebvre, there's rumours he could be back at the end of the month, sort of I think we have at home after the international break, and he'll be back for then, hopefully. But no, I mean, none of them will be around for Saturday. But yeah, Lefebvre, he looked great, and it was a kind of a case of it didn't look. It looked fairly sort of innocuous when he didn't look too badly injured. Then it was near half time, and then there was a half time substitution, which our manager doesn't tend to do. So everyone kind of knew, like, yeah, something's up.
Yeah.
Everyone was kind of thinking the worst at that point.
Yeah, I can imagine. Obviously, Mark, going in for Coventry, obviously, we've still got Jack Rodoni out. He was in the crowd, actually, not far from me, against Derby. So it was good to see him in there and spending time with the fans and taking pictures. And, I think it shows the type of guy that he is as well. Hadji Wright is just coming back from his injury, having 4 months off. Funny enough, the last time that we played Sunderland, he went off injured with his knee injury. We haven't seen him since, up until the past couple of weeks, but he looks really off it. Mason Clark slowly coming back into it. He looks a threat. I think it's the type of player that he is, that he'll just pick up little injuries like that because he stretches a lot for the ball, and that can pull hamstrings and stuff. How are you feeling about going into Saturday, Mark, with them sort of players not quite at it? Obviously, Sheaf's picked up a slight knock as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think we can win, but we've got to be. I think the performances have to improve. If I have to be brutally honest, I think even the games we won, like the Stoke and Oxford games, we weren't. I felt we've been a bit nervy at times. We kind of make too many mistakes. I feel set pieces and missed passes and things like that. So I feel the performance needs to be better. We're up against quality opposition in Sunderland, who have had a really good season. So I think I expect it to be a difficult game. I think Sunderland, for me, have got a couple of really good strikers. Isidore is quality. I remember that goal he scored at Stadium of Light in the previous game. It was a worldie of a goal. Mendes in the goals as well. So they've got quality going forward. Obviously Bellingham is also a really good player. And yeah, I mean, I think I'm a bit kind of 50-50 on this one, because I think had we have maybe got a possible at Derby, I think right, we're on a roll here. But you go into that game full of confidence. But I'm not so sure about this one. I think it's going to be a draw. That's just my view. So I'm
sitting on the fence again. Good lad.
Yeah. I'm loading my colours to the mast, and I'm going for a cheeky 1-1 draw.
Okay, fair enough. Paddy, what are you going for your prediction?
I said to my mates earlier this week, I thought score draw as well. Okay. But I think, honestly, I can see another 2-2 draw. I just think, I mean, what you touched on there about how you guys don't keep many clean sheets, but we don't either. So to be honest, I'm not expecting either of us to keep clean sheets on Saturday. To be honest. So yeah, I mean,
5-4 actually.
I would take a point. I think it would be a decent point away at a place where we just never seem to turn up. I think we got a 0-0 draw there last year. Obviously that was early in the season, which I remember thinking that's a good result. So yeah, I think there'll be goals. So yeah, I'm going to go for 2-2. I think it's going to be pretty open.
Fair enough. I think it's going to be an open game as well. Like Mark's already alluded to, we don't keep clean sheets, but at home we kind of know how to score. I'm hoping that Ellis Sims can start scoring at home rather than away, starting on Saturday, because he played for you guys. He started well for you guys, and then obviously he got recalled back to Everton at the time. Like I said, I think there will be goals. I think there will be a winner. I don't think it will be a draw. So I am going to go for a 3-2 win. To who? The honest answer is I don't know. But I'm never going to back against my own club. So I am going to say we're going to nick it 3-2. but it could be 3-2 to you guys as well. But I am going to go for the win for my prediction. But I think it will be a close game. All the past ones have been fairly close. Apart from there's been a 3-0 in there as well for us at your place. But yeah, you never know. You don't know which way round it's going to come. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-2 win Coventry. Any questions for us, Paddy?
I mean, I was going to ask just how fit Hadji White is, because I think he's great, and I know I didn't realise that he hadn't actually, I didn't realise he hadn't really played since we last played. I know it was obviously a bad injury, but yeah, I didn't realise he'd been out for so long. And yeah, I think he's a real quality player. And I think the fact that I feel a little bit better now that you've said that he's sort of just getting back up to speed. And he might be a little bit on the rusty side, because, yeah, I think there's a top striker in there. I think he's very good.
Mate, he's not even getting back up to speed yet. Seriously, he played, obviously, because obviously we had Robbins obviously in charge when we played you first, I think, and now we've got Lampard, and he hasn't even, he hasn't really even seen him train up until the past sort of 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even 2-3 weeks, and he came on at home the other day against Stoke up front. He replaced Ellis Sims. Against Derby, he started on the left-hand side instead of Mason Clark. And that's his normal position. And he was just off it. He couldn't hold the ball up. He couldn't pass the ball. It was a little bit of a poor showing from him, to be fair. He should have been hooked a lot earlier than he was. He played the full 90. I think he should have been hooked off a little bit earlier, but I understand it, because players need to play through that pain barrier to get their legs up to speed with everything. So I can kind of understand it a little bit, but yeah, I don't put it this way. If Mason Clark's fit, I don't think Hadji Wright starts. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, Mark. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I think Mason Clark will start, and I think he'll go Ellis Sims up front. I think he'll play. Lampard tends to play sort of a box attack, so yeah, I expect that to be what he'll do. But you're right, Paddy. I think there is a good player in Hadji Wright. He's been a bit off it, but he's quality. Once he's in the rhythm. You saw the quality, obviously, in the previous game at Sunderland, and that goal he scored was class. So, yeah, he's had a couple of not so good games, but I'm more than happy to have him at my club. I think we just have to be patient with him. He's had a long injury. He's still finding his feet, but I've got no qualms about Hadji Wright. He's class. I think his best position is actually up front. I think he's probably our best finisher, although. I would say we've got other good finishers as well. Sort of Sakamoto and Rodoni have been good as well. But Hadji Wright is, I think when he's on form, he's in the team every week. But I think for this game, I'd be surprised if he starts. I think he'll be on the bench, and I think Mason Clark. I think he'll. I'm more than sort of confident he'll start on Saturday.
Yeah, we've just got to make sure that we are up for it. I say it pretty much every week. If we turn up, we can give anybody a game. It's about us and whether we turn up or not. And if we don't turn up, what I don't want to see is us be when we played Leeds, because we looked scared when we played Leeds and we just gave them too much respect. If we do that against you guys, I think you'll punish us just like Leeds did. We've got to make sure that we're on the front foot and we take the game to you, because that's where I think we can win it. I think key as well is Matt Grimes in midfield, because we know the class player that Matty Grimes is anyway. And even though he didn't have his best game against Derby, he was still, you could still see the class in him. Things didn't go quite his way, but it didn't go for most players, to be fair, on Tuesday night. So, yeah, so midfield will be a key position, I think, that will win or lose games. And again, with not having Lefebvre there, I think that's going to put it in our favour. That's why I'm just tipping us to get that edge, that win, if you like. So, thank you very much. Any more questions, Mark, for Paddy?
No, nothing more for me. No.
Fantastic. Any other questions for us, Paddy?
Don't think so. No, it's all good. All good.
Fantastic. So, with all our guests that I have on, Paddy, I like to do quick fire questions, just 4 or 5 quick questions. One worded off the top of your head if you can, but don't worry if you can't. It's fine.
Yeah.
So the first one then is player to look out for in this game.
Mundell. Romain Mundell.
Okay. Where will Cov finish?
6th.
Okay, so you think we'll just make the playoffs?
I think you'll get top 6. I think that I was saying this the other day. It's like it's the little sort of collection of teams, sort of 5th and 6th, and then down to about 9th or maybe even 10th, where you just feel like it's going to be absolute chaos in these last few games, like because that teams are going to slip up where you're not expecting them to. But no, I fancy you guys to get top 6. To be honest.
Okay, wow, I'll take it. I think I'll take it. Right. Now, normally, I would ask where you guys will finish, but I think you're going to say 4th because that's where I think you'll finish.
Yeah, I'd be absolutely shocked if we finish. But we've been 4th since about November. Like we've always kept a big gap to the teams below us, but we've never. I think we've been level on points with Burnley on a couple of occasions, but we just haven't quite been able to actually move above them.
So I'm not going to ask that. I'm going to ask, do you think you'll get promoted this year?
I'll go, yeah. Yeah.
Have confidence. Come on, Paddy.
I've been on a couple of other, it's like a fan perspective, and I've been asked that question a couple of times, and I've always said yeah. So I'm very much, I think, I am quite glass half full. So, yeah.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
We'll go, yeah.
Good. Right. So, one player that you take from Coventry, and I think you've kind of just maybe answered that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it could probably be 2 because I do like Wright, but I like Sakamoto as well.
Okay.
He'll
definitely be playing.
Yeah, well, whenever I watch him, I always think he looks very, very tidy on the ball. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, and he's, to be fair, I think that he's just coming into a bit of form as well and getting his confidence back. So again, that hopefully bodes well for us on Saturday. And the last one, if you can, one word, Reggie Lebris.
One word. That's tough.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
Let's go astute. I think he's quite astute. Yeah, it's like sometimes that's sort of his strength and his weakness. I think when it comes to sort of being tactically astute, he can almost be his own worst enemy at times with how sort of stubborn he is with his setup. But no, I mean it's worked us. It's worked very well for us for the most part this season.
Fair enough. Right, that's it. Nice and easy. Nothing too difficult there. Right, so thank you very much, Paddy. Thank you very much, Mark. Paddy, before we let you go, can you just remind us where we can find you and what you guys do?
Yeah, so I'm with Roker Reports. We've got a website which has articles added every day. We have preview and post-match podcasts. Yeah, a bit of everything really. All sorts of Sunderland related content. So that's at rokerreport.com.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Mark, I will see you on Saturday at the game. Just remember where you can find us as well, guys. Like I said, it is scrolling on the ticker at the bottom. We are available on X or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. If you watch us, please go and rate us. Please go and like and subscribe. If you listen to us, go and rate us 5 stars on the podcasts when it comes out the next day. This is going to be coming out tonight, so you are going to be watching it fairly early if you get on early enough. But for everybody else, good luck for Saturday's game. We are sponsored by Right Steel Fabrications. I'm just trying to get everything in, and it's in the wrong order and all sorts. It's gone right tits up. We're partnered with the Anecdote Sports Bar and the Sky Blue Tavern, and we're associated now with the Sky Blue Ladies. So thank you very much. Thank you, boys, and play up Sky Blues.